Welcome to These Are the Blades of Our Lives, the figure skating show where I talk to you about figure skating like it is drama for our mamas. Oh my god, guys, I finally finished watching all of this figure skating. I think I have a brain freeze. That was a lot of figure skating. There was the Junior Grand Prix, there was the South Korean test skates to decide the Asian Games in the winter on the university game. And then there was Budapest, which had both juniors and seniors. And I sat through all of it. I watched it all. And now my brain is mush. But let me give you guys a recap of what I saw, of what I thought. Let me start with the Junior Grand Prix in Wuxi, China, starting off with the men. Oh my goodness, this competition was so good. This was one of the cleanest men competition that I had seen in a while, especially in the short program. A lot of these men really came to perform. And that would make sense because this was to decide who was going to get into the Grand Prix final. So, of course, there would be an all out, fight to see who was going to get who. I'm gonna start right off the top with some notable mention. Oh my God, Chinese Taipei's young skater Jia Ru Li. What a beautiful, amazing little skater. Did not see him coming, but oh my God, the back, the toe point, the musicality, the performance for someone so young and he's so tiny. But oh my God, is he exquisite. I am totally invested in this young skater. I know puberty's gonna come. I don't know how much of his extension, how much of his posture, how much of his performance ability he's gonna retain after puberty. But for right now, I cannot wait to see him again next season on the Junior Grand Prix to see how he grow. I'm so invested, and he had like a top 8 finish. Here he finished in 7th place. It was wonderful to see. Rounding up the top 6, we had Patrick Blackwell from the USA, very much a jumper. And what I feared the most about the backflip is happening. It has literally made its way down to the juniors. It was crackheaded enough when the seniors were doing backflip, but at least then they had gone through puberty and hopefully the damage to them would be a lot less. But no, no, no. The crackheadism trickled right down to the junior. And now we have Patrick Blackwell doing a backflip. Not a good one, not a clean one, but a crowd pleasing one. And as long as these backflips are crowd pleasing, these skaters are going to continue doing it. Patrick is definitely your jumper, athletic, doing all the trick kind of skater. Again, whenever I meet one of those skaters, my recommendation to his team is always the same. Please focus on getting him to be a well-rounded skater because when the jumps fail, there has to be something else for him to fall back on, and the back flip is not it. Oh, this was very upsetting. And then in 5th place was David Bondar from Canada. I manifested this. Every competition, I put one of the Canadian single skaters, the men and the women, into the top 6. And finally, we have a Canadian men and junior in the top 5. Way to go, David Bedard. Of course, there's a lot to be worked on, the skating skills, the speed, the spins, but all in all, a very solid performance for Canada men when they so desperately needed. Way to go. Um, in 4th place, we had Jae Kyun Lee, a wonderful young skater out of South Korea. He was beautiful in the short program. Unfortunately, the stamina could not carry over to the long program, and the jumps just failed him. And then, of course, the program failed him, and he just didn't have the energy it needed to carry the program while the jumps were failing. It was very sad, but a top a top four finish right off the podium when he was in third place going into, the free program. Still, a top four finish is not a bad finish. Hopefully, he'll go back, work on, more consistency in the long program. Then he could definitely come back for Junior World and we could see something spectacular. My pick for the win here, Yeon-ho Lee. I'm so invested into this skater. This is such a well-rounded skater with good technical skating, with good jumps, with good spins. Unfortunately, the short program he delivered, Young Ho delivered exactly what I was expecting from him. A well-balanced skate with the technical abilities, with the spins, with the skating skills and everything. Unfortunately, the triple axel, he took a really hard fall on that second triple axel, and I feel like it kind of knocked the wind out of him, and the rest of the jumps just were not there for him. But as a skater, this is definitely a young skater to watch out for. And despite the third place finish here, he still managed to make it into the Grand Prix final because he won, his first Grand Prix event. So hopefully we'll get to see a much better competition from him at the Grand Prix final. And second place, Tong Hee Tien. I'm telling you, sometimes that home advantage can either be a major distraction that causes a skater to just have a really bad outing, or it could be an incredible push. And Etienne's case, it was an incredible push. This was two of the best performances that I have seen from Tien so far. He was determined, he had a job to do. It wasn't perfect, but he got the job done. Really, really just amazing to see him deliver when it counted on home ice. And then the winner here was, of course, Rio Nakata. And then at the award ceremony, he pulled out his dad's Pirates of the Caribbean costumes to accept the award, which I thought was super cute. I've said this about Rio over and over again. He's definitely the skater that could be on top of the podium, but he needs to skate cleanly. In this competition, he had like relatively clean jumps. He had the quads. They played out for him the way he wanted it. He's got good basic skating skills. He's got good basic performance. He's he's a meal that's being processed. He's not quite done yet, but he's being processed. I think the thing that Rion needs to work on is consistently delivering his technical arsenal. Even if he doesn't do 100%, but just to make sure what he does deliver is completely clean. The junior dance, I was completely blown away by the junior dance. So much skating ability, so much skating skills that I did not see coming. So many of these skaters just amazing. We had one of the Chinese pairs in the top 10 here. Again, incredible. Shai Yu Yi and T Yu Lee was in top 10 here on home ice, getting a top 10 finish. Wonderful, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And then for our top six, we had the Japanese pairs of Sarah Kishimoto and Ashuhiko Tamura. They managed to finish here top six. I really, really like their rhythm dance. They have a really, really fun rhythm dance. They do it really well. The free dance was a little more problematic for them here, but I think by Junior Worlds, they may be able to have a really, really good competition. In fifth place was Ashley Slater and Alt Auge Perez. I'm so happy for them. They had a much better outing here than they had at their first Grand Prix. The their their rhythm dance, another rhythm dance that I absolutely love. I love their packaging. I love the outfit. I love how much they get into the program. Just groovy, baby. The free dance, the African theme music, they're working on it. It's much better this time around than it was at their last competition. Again, little by little before the season end, I feel like they're really going to start skating this program as opposed to this program, which is currently skating them. Then in fourth place, we had Olivia Allen and Dylan Kane. Again, I said this last time, this pair grew so much over one season and they're really just getting used to their new bodies. But this is a very talented young pair that I feel that's going to do the slow and steady climb. They still have, I think, 3 more years in junior. I think within those 3 years, they're definitely going to be on the podiums. They're definitely going to make the Grand Prix final. They're definitely going to be on world podium, but it's going to be a slow and steady climb for them because there's no major flaw to this team, but they need to build on their strength. But this is definitely a really well-rounded team, and a fourth place finish here, definitely a good look for them. My winners ended up in third place here. So I had them in first place, Chloe Nguyen and Brendan Jian. I had them in first place. They ended up in third place here. They were in second place after the rhythm dance. Another, typical rhythm dance. There's nothing bad about their rhythm dance. It's pretty along the line of what everybody else is doing. I really, really like their free dance. Their free dance suit them really, really well. Unfortunately, it wasn't anything they did wrong here. It was simply a situation where they were just outskated. And they were outskated by a pair that I had in I think I had them in fifth place by Umbre Priere Gensini and Samuel Black Kapperman. Oh my goodness, this pair, the rhythm dance, again, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. Guys, I'm just not gonna like a lot of the rhythm dance this season. I just feel that's where it is. But then we got to their free dance. Guys, the edge, the depth, the speed, the connection, the power. This is a powerful young pair that literally could probably give some of these seniors a run for their money. They were really that good. Their edge control. Oh, I'm so happy. So many strong, basic skating skill ice dance pairs are skating nowadays, and it's just a joy to see. And Embre and Samuel definitely fall into that category, and rightfully they came out as the first place winners in this Grand Prix, and I couldn't have agreed more. Fabulous free program, fabulous skating skills. The winners overall here were Ilana Peel and Ethan Peel. Again, I've said this about this pair. There is nothing wrong about this pair. They have good skating skills. They have a lot of power. Their lifts are usually effortless. They have a lot of strength. But I just don't really get that it factor about them that really pulls me towards them. But then again, they're in juniors, and I feel like those are qualities that they are gonna learn and that they are going to grow into. But congratulations to them winning this event and making it into the Junior Grand Prix finals. And then we got to the gladiator battle that was the women. Oh my goodness, so much great skating. I feel like all of the women in the top 10 came and absolutely gave it their all. Starting off with the top 10 skater, Ariel Go. I did not know much about this skater. I'd seen a couple of competitions because I remember I think at one point she represented Australia. I forgot. I know she represented another country before she switched over to Hong Kong. But what a delightful young skater. Very light skating, very effortless, very likable, very enjoyable. The jumps need a little more strength, but again, that will probably come when she goes through puberty. And the spins need work on. She needs to work on her spins. But that it factor that just makes a skater appealing to the fan, this skater definitely has that, and it was wonderful to watch her, especially in the free program where she just sort of like lit up. Wonderful skater. And then we had Hannah Bath. Another girthy jumper. Yes, control. Whenever you are a power jumper, you need to learn to control that power. So Hannah still needs to learn to control that power, but oh, the girthiness is there. Tried the triple axel, it did not work for her, but it's not that far off. I can definitely see by World Hannah landing that triple axel because she has the power requires. Again, I'm not a huge fan of seeing triple axels or quads in the juniors because they haven't gone through puberty. Their bodies haven't grown yet. I don't think they should be putting their bodies through that. But Hannah does have one of the more powerful triple axels that is being tried in the juniors. Her jumps are just girthy. In eighth place, we had Young Gyul Hwang. You guys know I love this skater. This is a beautiful, well-rounded skater. The short program, she definitely showed what she was capable of. It was practically a clean program for her. The long program, it was a struggle. And I feel like with some skaters, when the jumps fail them, they are still able to continue with the performance, to continue to bring it. But some other skaters, when the jump starts to fail, it's sort of like knock the wind out of their sail. And I think that's what happened here. But this is a wonderful, well-rounded skaters with all of the basics required to be on top of the podium. It didn't happen here, but it definitely will. In seventh place was Shikyu Gao. I love her. I told you guys, I love this skater. Oh my God, is she a little performer? My criticism was the fact that she does all of her jumps with both hands over her head, which I feel like is throwing off her center of gravity. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened in the short program. It threw her off and she couldn't get her combination, and her jumps just couldn't get off the ground because she was too far off her center of gravity, and that put her into like 14th place in the short program. But she came back with a Le Miserable fighting in that free program. Even with the both hands over the head jumps that I don't like, the performance, the musicality, the presentation, this skater has it factor up the wazoo. And I love it. I really hope they work on fixing her jumps because, oh my God, she has so much to give to skating. In sixth place was Inga Gugenzi. I've always said that this is a skater who is a fighter. Unfortunately, again, the short program, she found herself in 13th place because the jumps, because sometimes she's a nervy skater. Sometimes she's so passionate, she wants it so much that she gets into her head and the jumps suffer for it. But she is a fighter. In fight, she did here, coming all the way from 13th place to third place in the free program, showed how much of a fighter Inga really is. And then in the free program, another triple axel, just really, really nice triple axel. And I've said this about Inga before. She has really good jump basics. Her jump technique is really, really solid. She's another skater that has a definite point of view, and she has that definite point of view as a junior. So if she could learn to compete, if she could get out of her mind and she could do a good, clean, short, and free program, this is easily a podium skater. And I'm really hoping that by the time World comes around, she's able to learn how to compete both in the long as well as in the short program, which seems to be where she's really struggling right now. In fifth place, oh my God, Yo Takagi. Wonderful. I said it right from the get go. She doesn't have the technical firepower of the rest of this field. She doesn't have any triple triple combination in the long program. And that really is a disadvantage for her, especially when her competitors are coming out here with triple axles. But what she does have is that wonderful Japanese skating skill. What she does have is speed. What she does do is cover the ice from the rink from end to end. What she does do is cut into the ice with her blade like she was skating on top of butter. What she does have is performance ability. The short program was just mwah. The long program, delightful. One fall. If not for that fall, she could have been on the podium. But unfortunately, the competition was just too tough and she needed to be perfect in the free program because she didn't have the technical firepower of her competitors and she wasn't. But oh my goodness, if Japan was not so deep, she would be killing it in the senior women's competition. Wonderful. Oh, I loved it so much. In fifth place here, from China, Xu Jiao Zhen. Oh my goodness. I had said, because I had been watching the Chinese internal competition, that Jen was one to watch, and she showed up here. The best spins, in my opinions, of the competition. Two beautiful programs. She was composed. She did everything she needed to do. Her jumps need a little more speed and a little more height. But again, she's tiny. With puberty, those things will come. But what a beautifully packaged, beautifully put together, wonderful spin, good skating, basic skater we have on our hand, and Jen. Loved it, loved it. And this was a well-deserved fourth place finish for her. In third place, and I had her as my winner, was Jihan Wang, another wonderful young skater out of China. When I say China is building towards that Olympic team medal, they are building towards that Olympic team medal in ice dance, in pairs, in men and women. They are building their program, they are investing, and now they are seeing the dividend of that investment. Wang was solid. Solid, solid, solid in both the short and in the long. In the short, she had a little misstep in her combination, but her spins, her skating skills, her performance, both in the long and the short program, she came to do a job, and a job she did. This skater is all about business. She's all about consistency. This is a skater who knows how to compete. Imagine having to compete on home ice for the chance to make it to the Grand Prix final and delivering two clean performance, doing what you have trained to do. It was wonderful to watch. Grand Prix is going to be amazing. In second place here was Yusung Kim. And unbelievably, the only South Korean woman in the Junior Grand Prix final. If you had asked me at the beginning of the season, I would have said definitely two South Korean women to be in the Junior Grand Prix final, with the number one being Jia Chen. Unfortunately, Jia Chen did not have the kind of season she wanted, but you know, that is what it is. But Yoon Sung Kim definitely kept the hope alive for South Korean by having one of their competitors make it to the Grand Prix final. Again, the skating skills not to the level of some of her competitors. Presentation, but what she does do is she is a fighter. Triple axel gave it to us. Two clean triple axel. She came here, she fought. Yeah, there was a little step out here, a little step out here, but she fought every step of the way. And I like to see that in skating, especially in the women discipline, because she's a junior. The rest of those things, the spins, the pointing of the toe, the posture, the back, those things could be learned as she goes through puberty. But the mindset of a champion, where when the chips are down, when it counts, you get in there and you fight. That's not something you could teach someone. That's not something you could train for. That is something that has to be inherent. And Kim showed us this here. And I was really happy to see it. And the winner here, without a doubt, Amni Nakai. Oh my God, when I talk about competitive mindset, when I talk about the will to win, when I talk about here to fight, Amni Nakai was about that life. Beautiful skating skill. You already know with the Japanese, you're gonna have that beautiful edge. You're gonna have beautiful hand movement. You're gonna have lovely facial expressions. You're gonna have wonderful speed. You're gonna have ice coverage. But what Amni gave us was a triple axel, triple toe, followed by a second triple axel. She was prepared for every individual. She was prepared for everything, every factor. She was not giving up this battle without a fight. And she fought with every skill in her arsenal. And it was beautiful, beautiful to see. Now, another skater that unfortunately I had seen on this podium and I had in this conversation was Sophie Jolene von Felten. I still stand by me saying that I did think it was the right decision for U.S. figure skating to put Sophie in place of Mia Kalin. The reason is they did the same thing with Jacob Sanchez, and it worked. And he ended up in the Grand Prix final with the highest scores in the Grand Prix final. And the hope had been for Sophie to have the same out outing here. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. The back-to-back competition, the fact that Sophie probably wasn't prepared because she wasn't expecting to have a second Grand Prix final. You know, the traveling, there were so many factors that could have played into what happened to Sophie. She didn't manage to break the top 10, but that is okay because this was a learning experience. Figure skating is about the highs and the lows and how those high and lows shape you as a competitor, as a skater. And the other thing that I want to say to her coaching team, to the people around her, it's wonderful that she's doing the triple axel, triple toe. It's wonderful that she's doing the triple axel. But let us work on making Sophie a complete, well-rounded skater. Let's give her the spins. Let's give her the performance ability. Let's give her the skating skills. Because sometimes the jumps fail you. And when the jumps fail you, you need everything else to hold you up. So this wasn't the outcome, that her team wanted, that US skating wanted, but it's a lesson. And now I'm wanting to see where does Sophie go from here, having gotten the highest of high with a win at one Grand Prix and the lowest of low. What does she take from these lessons and how does she grow? So right from the Junior Grand Prix, I was also watching the South Korean skating test, which was to decide who was going to go to the Winter Asian Games, as well as the Winter University Games. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. South Korea just loves to overcompete their skaters. So originally, Hannah and Ye Hannah Lee Len and Ye Kwan were originally supposed to be at the Budapest Trophy. But because of this event, Hannah and Ye had to go compete at this South Korean test skate. And boy, did they compete. They have one of the few rhythm dance that I really, really enjoy because they really, really enjoy it. And then when we come to the Cruella de Vil free dance, they've hit it out of the park again. Hannah was eating and leaving no crumb. And as always, Ye was there presenting her like the diva queen that she is. The packaging, the movements, the choreo. I can't say enough about how much I love this Cruella de Vil program, and they do it so fabulously. At this competition, we saw a lot. We saw a lot. We saw a lot of the men's. We saw a lot of the women's competing here. I would say I'm going to make this comment about the women in South Korea. I feel like there is so much talent, but they skate. I don't, is it timidly? They skate so timidly. Like they do, it's like they don't want to attack the skating. They don't want to attack the skating. They don't want to give it 100%. It's almost like they skate a little lifeless. Does that make sense? Like they skate a little lifeless to me. Not all of them, but for most of it, there's a lack of life to the women, to the South Korean women skating, and I don't understand why. Because they're so fabulous. There's so much talent there. There's so much potential there that I really wish they would just embrace their inner Unakim. Can I say that? I want them to embrace their inner Unakim and step on the ice like I am the queen diva. Bitches, get out my way. I want that from the South Korean women. I want them to embrace their inner diva and just be on some bitch, get out my way. That's what I want. But anyhow, in the competition, I would have to say in the short program, a lot of the women look really, really good. A lot of the women look really, really good. However, by the time we got to the free program, there was only two clean program out of, I think there was like 8 or 10 competitors, and there was only two free program. And the two free programs was from Cheon Kim, of course, and then from Dabin Cho. Oh my God, Dabin Cho. I'm gonna start with the men. So going to the Winter Asian Game for the men is Junhwa Cha. Again, the triple axel was not the friend of any of the men competing at this event. Not in the short program and not in the long program, but especially in the short program. I think out of all the competitors, like two men managed to learn that triple axel cleanly. Unfortunately, Junhwa Cha was not one of those men, but he still managed to give us a brilliant short program. And then in the free program, that quad sal, butter, bet money on it. The quad toe, down he went. But you know what? He came back, he fought, and the majority of the program was clean. And so he easily won this event, and he is going to the Winter Asian Game. Um, the other person going to the Winter Asian Games for the men is Hong Young Kim. He was okay. He was okay. He was okay. It wasn't a bad outing for him, but it wasn't a great outing. For the women going to the Winter Asian Game is of course Cheon Kim. Goodness gracious, consistency in skating. Thou name is Cheon Kim. She came with the Tron program, which I really, really like for her because she's not a very emotive skater. She also doesn't seem like she's a very emotive person. She seems very reserved, very calm. When you see her in the kissing cry, and she has that same reserve and calmness in her program. And I feel like the Tron program plays to that cool collective side of her. It kind of masks her limitation in terms of her lack of projection and face movement. The free program, I know her jumps are small, but she's tiny. So what are we expecting? But her jumps are precise, they're fast, they're clean, and she gets the job done. And I have to say, in that free program, I see a lot more facial movement from her than I had seen in previous competitions. So I'm really, really happy for that. The second woman going to the Winter Asian Game is Soo Young Kim. She has got some powerful, girthy jumps when she lands them cleanly. There is some girthiness to her jump, but unfortunately, these jumps are not always clean. But I feel like if she could land her jumps cleanly, this could be a skater that we put in the conversation simply because her jumps are that powerful. And then for the Winter University Games, again, we have Junhwa Cha. We also have Si Yong Lee. He does all of his jumps with his two hands over his head, which I'm not a big fan of. And then we have Young Hong Cha. an upcoming young South Korean skater, sorry, wrong country, that I think has a lot of potential. There is something really well balanced about his skating. Um, this wasn't his competition in the short program, but he came back and fought in the long program. And this is a skater that I definitely think will eventually make his way up to the second spot after Junhwa Cha and the senior men in terms of South Korean men skating. I could definitely see it. The women going to the Winter University game, starting with Daibin Cho. Oh my goodness, two claps. I am so happy to see Dabin Cho come out here and give two clean performances. She was clean in the short program. She came in the long program. She was clean. Yes, she doesn't have the technical firepower, again, of some of her competitors. But when your competitors cannot deliver their jumps, no matter how difficult those jumps are, and you can deliver easier jumps cleanly, you're gonna outskate them and you're gonna end up ahead of them. And because of these two wonderful clean program here, Dabin earned her way to the Winter University Games. Also joining her in the Winter University game is Soo Young Wee. This is a skater, again, another powerful jumper. These South Korean women probably have the best, triple combination in the business. Unfortunately, sometimes they land the triple combination, and I don't know if they lose focus or concentration and they fall on like a triple flip or a triple lutz. We're gonna have to figure out a way to get these South Korean women to channel their inner Yuna Kim. And So Young Wee is one of those skaters who needs to channel her inner Yuna Kim because all of the element for a good meal is there. But it's just not being put together properly. Hopefully, she will show up at the university game and the rest of the season, and we can get to see what she's really made of. Also going is Yalen Kim. The short program was much better than I expected. As we know, Yalen is coming back from injury. She did not end last season on a high note, and so this is a comeback from her. The short program, she doubled her triple combination. The triple Lutz triple toe was, triple Lutz double toe, but the jumps are not there. Like that's just the honest truth. In the long program, she just didn't have the stamina. The jumps were just not there. However, I said this to Luna. I'm gonna say this to Yalen, and I'll say it to any other skater that's coming back from injury or who are injured. This pre-Olympic season, let this be your recuperating season. Let this be your getting your feet under you season. Let this be the season that you need to get it together, and then let the Olympic be your goal and focus your mental fortitude that way. That would be my recommendation to Yalen Kim because we know what she's capable of doing when she's healthy. And this is not an indication of what she's capable of doing. But all in all, I'm so happy to see Yalen Kim back and competing. And hopefully by the end of the season, she'll be somewhat back to where she was 2 seasons ago. Then moving to the Budapest Trophy. This, oh my goodness, guys, I had to forward through some of these competitions. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I'm just gonna focus on the top, 5 skaters, starting with Makar Sunset, whom I had in third place here because he does have the potential to be in the conversation. His skating skills are not bad, his performance is not bad, and he does have the jump firepower. He just doesn't have the consistency. If he had been able to be more consistent at this event, if he had been able to be a little cleaner in the jumps, he could have easily been on the podium. But it just didn't work out. In fourth place was Witkowski. This is not a skater that I'm really familiar with. I will have to say this was not a skater that I'm really familiar with out of Poland, but he surprised me. Two relatively clean program. He looks more like a jumping type of skater than a all around type of skater, but you know what? Sometimes the artistic skaters don't come to play and the jumping skaters get the medals. And he was our pewter here. Then our top three, starting with Nikita Amstarovskin. I am such a huge fan of this skater. This is one of my artistic skaters who does not have all of the technical firepower, but who has such a unique point of view. His short program to his long program are so very different, yet he gives them both to you in such a unique way that is so uniquely him. I love watching him on the ice. This is a skater you could tell who enjoys skating, who enjoys creating, who loves storytelling. You know, there's just some beautiful moments in his skating. He's always performing, his face is always emoting, and that is wonderful to see. Technically, he's not really in the conversation, but sometimes when the technical skaters fail to deliver, just like it was the other way around, the artistic skaters who can give you face come in here and they win themselves a bronze medal. So I was really happy to see Nikita take the bronze medal here with two enjoyable performances, even if the technical is not there. In second place was Lucas Bucci. I really like both of his programs this season. I typically do tend to like Lucas Bucci's programs, but I especially enjoy his free program. There is something off the beat, quirky about it, but he makes it work. He wasn't completely technically all there here, but it's the start of the season and he's just getting his feet under him. But you could tell he's definitely embodying that long program. And I cannot wait to see that long program perform at Europeans and at Worlds when he has all of the jumps and he's completely embodied that program. And then the comeback of Matteo Rizzo was so much better than I expected. Like I said, I had been watching him on Instagram and I saw that all the triples were back, but I did not see the quads. So boy, was I surprised here when he did the quad, not only in the free, but he also did it in the short program, and it looks good. The triple axel looks especially good. Matteo is keeping, of course, both of his programs from last season, which of course he is. He's coming back from injury. Where would he have time to learn new programs and be competition ready? But he looks so much better than I was expecting. And a win here is such a confidence boost, especially when we are seeing that Italian nationals is going to be a battle for the men, for the pairs. It's going to be a battle. And to see Matteo definitely letting everybody know he's in that conversation for that battle was wonderful, wonderful to see. Then we get to the ice dance. You guys know I was prepared to be all dramatic about the ice dance, but you know what? For the most part, it was fair. Like I said, Hannah and Ye could not be here. They had to pull out because they had to go do the South Korean competition. But we did have some great competitors here. Holly Harris and Jason Chen, we saw their rhythm dance. I actually like their rhythm dance. I actually like their rhythm dance. And their free dance, I like the fact that they gave them slower music this season. I feel like this is a pair that is really prone to making mistakes. And I think giving them slower programs gives them the ability to really take their time, to really feel their program, to really skate their program, and to make minimum amount of mistakes. So this was definitely a really good outing for them and a great way for them, to debut. They do need to work on some of their levels in their rhythm dance. And then we get to the top four, which is really what I want to focus on. Starting out with one of my favorite ice dance pairs, of course, is Yuka Orihara and Yuno Pereira. Everything I was expecting, they gave me. That rhythm dance is so fun. And then the free dance, they understood the assignment, a chorus line. They were giving it to you. This pair loves skating so much, and they make me love skating so much. And I'm really happy to see that these bulky, bogus as judges are finally getting on the boat and have stopped lowballing this pair. Yuka and Juno are just fabulous, delicious, cracktastic, fun on skate. I love every time they take the ice. I know I'm gonna get a performance. It is gonna be wonderful. Love both of their program. In third place here, and you guys know I had them as my winners, is Julia Tequila and Matthias Velus. Unfortunately, the rhythm dance is not good, guys. I feel like this pair, the rhythm dance is always their weakness. I can't really remember one season where I was like, oh, that is a really good rhythm dance. The rhythm dance is always their weakness. And I need them to like figure out a way to fix this rhythm dance, get some external help to really, really work on this rhythm dance because the free dance is a marvelous, beautiful, wondrous tango. Oh my goodness. This is one of the best tangos we have seen in years. This program is beautifully composed, it's beautifully constructed, it's beautifully delivered, it's beautifully performed. They look fabulous on the ice. I believe everything that they are trying to sell, and I want to buy some more. And I feel like if they had a rhythm dance that was halfway decent, combine that with this fabulous, fabulous free dance, they would easily, easily be winning a lot of events. Unfortunately, I do have to agree with their placement simply because their rhythm dance is just very weak. I'm in second place here, and I didn't even know the political pull was that strong behind this pair, is Emily Brady and Ian Somerville. Their rhythm dance is generic, it's standard, it's what we're going to be seeing all season. There's nothing wrong with it, there's nothing good about it, it's just there. Their free dance, they're keeping their free dance from last season. I like this free dance last season and I like it this season. It suits them well. It plays on their strength. Ian, for me, is one of the best men ice dancers out there. His posture, his hold, his edge. He has a beautiful turn and turn out toe. He's just a beautiful, beautiful skater. And Emily is growing so much and they are starting to match really well. So when you combine the rhythm dance with the free dance, I understand why they were barely ahead of Julia and Matthias. If Julia and Matthias's rhythm dance was just a little better, it would have been a different story. But it is what it is, and I don't disagree with this outing. And then the winners here. Christina Carrera and Anthony Paramorenko. I like their rhythm dance. It's fun. It's 50s. They didn't do disco. That alone bonus points. And then the free downs, the common to the pumpkin latte spice color outfits. Please change the outfits. But otherwise, I love this program on them. And now we're going deep into our Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer bags. And we're even having passionate kisses. Oh my God, I'm too shy for this. My junior babies are now doing passionate kisses. Oh my goodness. But they seem to be growing into this program. I think they are like solidly the second US pair now. I think they are solidly in that second US pair position. I think the push is there. They have programs that's going to help them get there. I think they're solidly into that second place. And then we move on to the women. The women at the Budapest Trophy. Wow. This was surprising to me in so many levels. I want to first give a mention to Ava Lota Kibus. I don't know if she's coming back from injury. I know we didn't see her at all last season, and she's back this season. Again, I'm going to say the same thing to her that I've said to so many other skaters. If this is the year that you need to take to rebuild, let this be your rebuild year and just focus on the Olympic being the gold. Unfortunately, this was a very, very hard outing for her. Very, very hard outing for her. The jumps just were not there at all. The jumps were not there at all. Not in the short and not in the free. But I feel like this is not indicative of what she could do as a skater because we've seen what she could do as a skater. So I hope she takes this outing, she grows from it, and she comes back stronger than ever. Now, going into the top six. In sixth place was Julia Sauter. She did really, really well in the short program. This is another skater who could have jumping potential, but consistency issues plagues her. But to finish top six here, I still feel is a very commendable outing for her. Even if the long program was really, really rough, I think focusing on everything that was accomplished on the short program and building from that is where she should focus. In fifth place was Madeline Skizas. I'm starting to buy into this Lion King, guys. This was the best short program. And I feel like every competition I say this about Maddie. This was the best short program from Madeline so far. That triple combination looked like she believed in it 110%. She was gonna get it done. And once she had the triple under her belt, it sort of like freed her to really just perform the program. And because she was free to perform the program and the rest of the jumps were clean, I was free to buy into the program. The long, again, the stamina wasn't quite there. There was a couple of steps out, there was a fall, but she's progressing in a positive direction. It's still early in the season. This is progress in a positive direction. Very happy for Madeline. Very happy for Madeline. In fourth place, coming back from injury, this was better than I expected. Lindsay Thorngreen gave us two clean programs here. She stayed on her feet for two clean programs. The short program, she's keeping the windmill of your mind. I actually wanted her to not keep that program, to use another program that she had used previously and then bring back windmill of your mind for the Olympic season. I wanted her to do windmill of your mind for the Olympic season because it's such a beautiful, constructed, choreographed program. It's just beautiful. And she skated it beautiful here. She skated that short program beautifully here. The long program, a lot of her jumps got called, which is something we see a lot with Lindsay. But she stayed on her feet for all of her jumping passage. And I have to say, I feel like we sleep on Lindsay Thorngreen's spins. For me, she is one of the best spinners in the world. She has beautiful position in her spins. She has speed. She has power. It's nicely centered. She still needs to emote a little more, but I feel like just like with Cheon Kim, she's a very reserved, very quiet skater, and it's a person in the kiss and cry, and it's probably a lot harder for her to bring everything out in terms of the skating, the performance. So she still needs to work on that some more. And I also like her free program. I like the dress, the little black with the cutout. I like the hard and the soft of the color. I like her dress much better than what I expected. I was very, very happy here with Lindsay Thorngreen. Again, moving in a positive direction. In third place, and I had her in third place too, was Laureen Child. This is why I love longevity in figure skating. Because Laureen was such a wild child. Her jumps were completely out of control. She had me sitting, gripping the edge of my seat every time she competed last season. And yet, she gave us this soft, softer version of her in this short program. The jumps were a lot more controlled, the skating a lot more refined. This was the softer, gentler side of Lauren Child, and I was here for it. Of course, in the long program, the wildness of the jumps came right back. My heart was still trying to jump out of my throat, but the same thing we're seeing in the short program, we will eventually get to a point where we see that in the free program, in the long program. And I love that. I love that for her, that she is growing as a skater because she has the space and the time to do so. In second place here is Kimi Rippon. So for me, I wish that Luna Hendricks' team would have packaged her the way that Kimi Rippon's team packaged her. To me, Kimi Rippon looks so classic, so elegant, so expensive. Kimi Rippon to me looks like a European medalist. She looks like a world medalist because she's packaged that way. And I love to see it. It was the same thing last season and it's the same thing this season. And last at her last competition, when I saw the short program, I wasn't too sure because it wasn't clean. Here we got to see the short program clean, and I'm with it. Mother Nature, I really like Mother Nature for her. This is a beautiful program for her. It allows her to, hide some of the deficiency, which is in the height of the jumps, the amount of ice coverage there is, while focusing on all of her positivity, her hand movement, her emotion, her presentation, her connection to the judges in the audience. This is a really good program for her. And then we get to the Gladiator free program. Again, wonderful packaging. This is another program that showcased her feistiness, her strength, while again hiding the deficiencies, the jumps. And the jumps all coming together. All together, I love both of her programs on her. And then the winner here, Alyssa Liu. I will be honest, guys. I wasn't expecting a lot because she's coming back after a 2-year hiatus. But that short program was breathtaking. That short program is beautiful. That short program was not what I was expecting, but it was so much more than I could have dreamed of. She skated it beautiful. The jumps looked powerful. And this is what I love. Alyssa originally was a jumping skater, and then the jumps went away, and her team had to go back and start working on the skating. And now you are seeing the reward of that work. Her skating here was beautiful. It was just beautiful. And then the long program is so much fun. It's so much fun. It's youthful. It's joyful. She looks like she's enjoying skating again. The jumps are a little under rotated, but we can work on that as the season goes by. Her performance of it, her enjoyment of it, even in the little mistakes she made, she didn't take it too seriously. She was laughing in the kiss and cry. This was somebody who took the time they needed away from skating, and now they're back and they're loving it. Oh my God, guys, that was so much skating, but I'm so happy that I got to watch all of it and I could make this video for you guys. I'm really looking forward to the season. I'm really looking forward to see now what's going to happen. Now I'm really starting to think U.S. women nationals is gonna be a bloodbath along the line of Japanese women's national. Now I'm excited. Now I'm excited. But you guys let me know. What did you think? Did you get to watch all of these competition? What did you see? What did you think? Who are you rooting for? Let me know in the comments.